and then I can just flop it onto the green and let the ball release, and I can learn from how much that ball's released. Yes! I'm going to put a couple of markers down, so if I'm going to try and get it on, give myself a foot margin there, and maybe a yard and a half, something like that. Now, if I can land each club, each different club here in that area, it's going to show you how much difference roll we're going to get. So first of all, with the sand wedge, obviously this would be for a close pin, so let's just land it in between there. Good, now you can see how that started to bite. So I move up to the pitching wedge now, which is obviously about 6 degrees left loft than a sand wedge. Same spot. There we go. That goes on another 10 feet or so further. Move on to the 8-iron. Pick my spot again. See, so I'm in control of this now. All I'm trying to do is move the ball 3-4 yards. And now if I have a go with the 6-iron, land it probably just 1 yard onto this green, we'll make it down to the pin there. There we go, perfect. Now you can see this is so much easier for you to take a sand wedge and try and loft it and land it in between that pin there. Impossible for you to judge. I'd find that really tough, but the fact I can look at a spot, I know Isao Aoki is an absolute magician at this. He picks a spot right in front of him and he really concentrates on that, hits down onto that spot and lets the ball release to the hole. And I've got a variety of pins here. Now I think the secret is to hit one shot to each pin and to get that variety, and then you're going to get the feel of what the club will do and how the ball will react. So obviously to a front pin, I've obviously got to make the ball fly a little bit higher, so I put the ball a little bit further forward in my stance, and then I can just flop it onto the green and let the ball release, and I can learn from how much that ball's released. Yes! Well, sorry about that little outburst there. Let's move on. Now, I'm going to try for that next pin, and obviously now I want to make the ball run and release a little bit more, so all I simply do is move the ball back almost towards my right toe. There's no golden rules to this. You move it about how you feel suited, how you feel comfortable, what you visualize the ball doing. So let's put it back to my right toe. Little tip on technique, all I'm trying to do is work it all from the right shoulder. That moves up and through and keeps some tempo. So off the right toe, bump it forward, and then it runs forward again. And then obviously if I want to make it run even further, I've got a back pin there. I can even shut the face a little bit on this one and even maybe swing a little bit from the inside out. And that's going to help again to make the ball release. There we go, and that's working nicely. And then you can maybe visualize that this last pin has got a bit more of a hump to it maybe, and you've got to work the ball a little further up. So I could work it ball a little further forward again in my stance, maybe open the face this time, take it a little bit outside, get a little bit more chop, a little bit more bite onto it. So what I want you to do is to work with one club and visualize the shot, see the shot and have one go at it, and then you're going to get some feedback of how the green reacts and what your limitations are with that club. Right, take for example now we've got a bad lie, the ball's sitting down. You know, you've thrown them out. Don't cheat now and roll it into a good lie. We need to learn from this situation. Now, if I'm going to try and get across the other side of the green, obviously I need to hit down on this ball, get a little steeper angle of attack. So hit down and through. That's all right. Now that's the only way you can learn from this. I can't teach you feel. You've got to come out with one club, throw the balls out, and work to these pins. And one shot at a time, you're going to get some feedback on that because you only get one chance on the golf course. 4 different situations we've got here in the bunker. I've got soft sand, hard sand, a downhill lie and an uphill lie. Now simply by changing the weight from my right leg to left leg to suit these shots, I can cope with all these situations. Now as you know, if you've got a basic know-how of the bunker shot, then as I said, all we need to do is then work on the weight. For a soft sand, as you walk in, obviously you dig your feet in. That's the only way you can sense the depth of the sand. So if it goes down quite a way, then you think, right, this is soft sand one. So simply move your weight onto your right foot. Now what that will do is obviously give you a sort of a shallower attack into it. You won't be digging down so much, you won't be taking so much sand. And you stay in that situation there. So weight on the right side, back and through. There we go, cope with that one. And then we can then go to an opposite of that. We're now on a downhill lie, quite a severe downhill lie. What I want to do on this one, obviously I've got to cope with that slope. We're going to use the same stroke, but I'm going to put an awful lot of weight onto my left foot now. So right foot becomes pretty light. So I set up very similar, but put a lot of weight there. Same backswing. There we go, that one was all right. Let's go to the other extreme. This ball's under the lip here a little bit. I want an uphill lie, so all I need to do now is put that weight back onto that right leg, lean back behind it, and stay there. And obviously I'm going to have to hit this quite hard to get him out. And then back to the firm sand. As we said before, the soft sand, as you put your feet in, you think, wow, look, I haven't got more than an eighth of an inch here, so it's going to be firm. So I put my weight onto the left leg, because what that's going to do is give me a much steeper attack, same swing, just steeper angle of attack, and down and through. So left leg, down and through. So there we go, a quick summary. Soft sand, weight on the right leg. Hard sand, weight on the left. Downhill lie, weight on the leg also. Uphill lie, weight on the right. One of the hardest things to adapt to is the speed of the greens, and it's a very important part of it. And let me show you a couple of tips what I would do. As you saw, I've just hit about a 25-foot downhill putt, so let's turn straight round again and hit it back up the hill. Obviously I've got to hit it a lot harder to get that feel. So what I want you to do is go up and down a couple of times. That's going to give you a good feel of a medium distance putt. And one other little drill I really enjoy is I put the balls out probably somewhere between 6 and 10 feet in between them, all the way down the green there. There we go. And then I'd start obviously from the closest one here, and all I'm worried about is getting the tempo and the feel to the greens. And the most important thing is to try and get the ball something like 2 feet past the hole as your max. So maybe if I'm lucky can hold the first one, but after that let's start working on the feel. So make sure we get it up just past the hole. That was a good one. Obviously now getting a bit longer, and all this is doing for you is getting the feel, and the feel comes from your right hand. That's the most important one. So keep that tempo in the stroke, 1, 2, but it's the feel you get in the right hand. And right the way up to the longest one. Now let me show you one more tip for those dreaded knee knockers. What I want you to do here, and you can only do this on the putting green, not on the golf course, is take your address and then push the ball into the hole. No backswing at all, because what that's going to help you do is go straight through to your target. If that putter head doesn't do that, if it deaccelerates at all, or there's any hesitation, you're going to pull it left, miss it on that left edge. Or if it's a little bit jerky and a little bit too much to the right hand, whoop, you're going to miss it on that right edge as well. So just quickly recap on him, squaring up and then push him straight into the hole. Well, that just about wraps things up on this tips and drills video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sure you can get a lot of benefit out of some of those tips. And on a personal note, I've really enjoyed doing some of those drills. I've had to revamp them from a few years ago. And I bet you'll see me doing those on the next coming tournament. So with it being such a beautiful evening here at Valderrama, I think I'm going to stick around and have a putt. So thanks for joining me and good golfing.